Bro, Hakeem is literally better than Shaq. Like, what are we talking about? What are we actually talking about? Hakeem Olajuwon is better than Shaquille O'Neal. Why? What are we not grasping about this? What are we not? Because yes, albeit he only has 2 championships, right? He still has the MVP. You know what I'm saying? He still has the stats. He's a block leader. Like, what are we talking about defensively? Are we not saying he's not better than Shaq? Are we saying he couldn't dominate the same as Shaq? Man, bro, y'all are so capped, bro. It's Hakeem. Hakeem over Shaq all day. And it's not even close. We are so here. Ladies and gentlemen, what's goody? It's your boy, Co. You can also call me OSK. Either is going to convey the same way. So, hopefully I triggered a couple people there in the beginning. Do I actually personally believe that? No. I do feel like, it's not a huge gap, but I think Shaquille O'Neal is quite literally the most dominant center of all time. Not saying he's the greatest of all time, but he's up there. Me personally, I put him over King. Call me crazy. Maybe that's the hot take. Maybe I'm wrong for believing it, right? But the success is there. Nonetheless, today I want to switch it up, right? It's a yap session. No tiers here though. No tier list. It might be some tiers, just no tier list. No quiz, no reactions. I'm literally just going to talk to you all about a very sensitive topic. Maybe for some of you all, but for the internet in general. Today's topic of discussion is rage bait. Yes, I probably triggered like 10, 11, 12,000 people when I said that. And I'm not exaggerating. Rage bait is very, very common in today's time throughout social media. You got people rage baiting on all sorts of topics. Politically rage baiting, religious debates rage baiting. Sports, of course, are probably the most common one. Music, like as a Kendrick fan myself, right? I am easily rage baited when it comes to Kendrick Lamar because you have the sheer gall and audacity to tell me that Drake is a better lyricist than Kendrick Lamar. That is something that's worth throwing hands over, buddy, okay? The NBA has a case of rage bait in its community. And today I picked through 10 rage bait topics that I just wanted to touch on because albeit they are rage bait, there's probably some people that do believe some of these, but more often than not, if you hear these come out of someone's mouth, don't pay them any attention, right? They're just talking. They don't truly believe that. They just wanted to make you mad. Specifically, like these scenarios will pop up if it's the topic of discussion. I'm gonna give you an example, right? Say you're talking about the most clutch NBA players of all time, right? And y'all are going through the LeBrons, the Currys, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, and then somebody says, well, death being pointed at Earth, game on the line, fate of the universe, whatever it may be. I want $1. They did it on purpose. They don't believe that. And don't let them try to give you a convincing argument why $1 should be taking that last shot, because he shouldn't, right? That's just not a thing. Before we get into this, just want to remind you all to please like, comment, and subscribe. And click that bell notification down below as well. Leave some suggestions. Let me know if y'all like this. All right. Number 1. This one I think is too common for my liking. And as you can tell by my voice, it gets me riled up. But I know it's not true. Number 1 is that Stephen Curry is better than LeBron James all time. Where did this narrative come from? That he has a winning record in the finals against LeBron? Like, is that genuinely what we're doing? Because if we look at the logistics behind it and the setup there, I think the odds of anybody that's not named LeBron James winning any of those championships over Curry was very close to none. That is, I would say, argument number 1 is that he owns LeBron in the playoffs. He does have a winning record, of course. But then it kind of stops there, right? So if you're presented with the rage bait as such, and we're talking rings, they still both have 4. You feel me? And then after you take the 4 off the table, like regardless of the head-to-head matchup, what did he do better? Or what does he do better? Shoot the 3-pointer. Anyways, on to the next one. Number 2. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And then Kobe Bryant is number 2. All right, so this is kind of piggybacking off of the last one, okay? I'm not going to get into the GOAT debate. I have said on the account who I think my GOAT is, but I think one thing that is very synonymous with most NBA fans is that Michael Jordan is number one and LeBron is number two, or LeBron is number one and Michael's number two. And then you have like the Kareems floating around number three. The narrative that Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron all time is also insane. It's almost as blasphemy as the Stephen Curry one, but I'll give it a little bit more grace because Kobe was very dominant for a long period of time, and he has 5 championships. But it's a case of like, what is your argument? You know what I'm saying? Like, because at least with Stephen Curry, I will say, you know, of course you got the head-to-head portion, and then you have the same amount of rings. With Kobe being number 2 all time, what puts him above the 3 or 4 people in the queue there next? Because if we think about it, I'm gonna be realistic. There's a conversation about Tim Duncan versus Kobe Bryant all time, right? And I mean this with no disrespect, but we're not comparing Tim Duncan all time to LeBron James all time, or Tim Duncan all time to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all time. That's just not a conversation that's being had because it doesn't need to be had. I think the Kobe Bryant is number 2 argument, I see a lot of people saying that it's because he replicates Michael Jordan's game. Like, it's almost copy and paste, which to an extent that's fine if you're looking at the eye test, but we still have stats to back everything up. And Kobe Bryant did not have the efficiency of a Michael Jordan or a LeBron James. We can't say he didn't have it of the Kareem because Kareem was a big center. And it's just, you know, guard to center is a difficult conversation to have. But that is number 2. Speaking of Tim Duncan, the number 3 rage bait that I have heard or seen on the internet is that Tim Duncan is not a top blank player because he played on the Spurs. Brother, what sense does that make? When did we start discrediting? When did we start discounting players because they played on good teams? That has always been one of the most annoying arguments to me, that it is now rage bait. There's no shot in the world that we think, all right, I'm going to use Kevin Durant as an example real quick to make my point. Kevin Durant is going to be an all-time great. I'm not entirely sure if he falls top 10, you know what I'm saying? But because he joined the Warriors and won those rings, yeah, we were mad. We were mad, but he was leading the charge. He was the best player on that team. He was getting buckets. Like, if you want to say it hurts Kevin Durant for having those championships with the super team, how much does that hurt his legacy? Because he did win. Because like, what are we talking about? But with Tim Duncan, he has 5 championships with the Spurs, all-time team. We can't argue that. All-time coach. We can't argue that. But Tim Duncan, just like the Kevin Durant example, was the best player on that team night in and night out. Of course, he had David Robinson in that first championship, and then you could argue him and Kawhi on the last one. But like, he also has the stats to back it up. He has the accolades, the MVPs, you know, the All-Star votes, the All-Defensive Team. Like, this man was a great defender. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why are we discounting him for playing on the Spurs? I don't know. Number 4. Going back to Stephen Curry here, but this time on the opposite end. Stephen Curry is not a traditional point guard, therefore he cannot rank higher than Magic Johnson. Now, before you run to the comments and say, well, Stephen Curry isn't better than Magic Johnson, and Magic Johnson did this and that, and I was born in 1957. Buddy, that's not what I'm saying, okay? My argument with this, or the rage debate topic, is not that Steph Curry is not better than Magic. Like, you can have whatever take you want on the GOAT point guard, but to not call him a traditional point guard, therefore he cannot rank higher than Magic on the point guard list. What is that? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Nobody in the current NBA is a traditional player at their current position. If you look at every single position in the NBA, every single position has evolved. We have stretch bigs now, but we can still compare Jokic to a Shaquille O'Neal. Like, we're not taking that away from him because he's not a traditional center per standards. Look at the shooting guard position. Like, a lot of shooting guard is consisted of, you know, two-way plays, still, you know, scoring because it's very important. But I feel like it's not fair to discount those guys as well. You know what I'm saying? Stephen Curry is, sure, not a traditional point guard, but he is very much a point guard. You know, I hate this combo guard this, combo guard that. Bro, who cares? Who cares? Like, what does that say? What am I supposed to do with that information? He's a combo guard. So okay. So then here, Let's rank them all-time combo guards. He is number one, and it's not even close then, because Stephen Curry is the only Stephen Curry to ever exist, and may be the only one to ever exist. Cut the malarkey. Stephen Curry can rank higher than Magic Johnson. I won't get into where I think he ranks on my all-time list of point guards, but to discredit him for not being a traditional point guard like Magic is insane. Number 5, the NBA sucks. This is easy. I don't have to waste too much time. People who believe the NBA is a trash product right now because, where there's a ratings drop or there's a flop epidemic or the players sitting out for a certain amount of time, the super teams, like whatever it may be, the product is amazing. I'm not going to say it's at its peak, but the wide variety of different players and skill sets right now, I would say it's at an all-time high. We're in a place where, like, I would say ranking the top 10, 15 players currently active is a very difficult conversation to have, because one night Jalen Brunson is looking like a top 3 to 5 player in the league right now. Other nights he may be towards that 12, 15. So it's like, what makes you think that the NBA sucks? Can we then discount every other major league because they have changes? Does the NFL not get a hit then because they changed the whole kickoff rule, because they've gone soft, because of the targeting, everything like this, and the nerfing of celebrations? What about NIL and the NCAA, which I'm sure are arguments in those respective sports, but to say that a specific sport or organization of sports sucks because you just don't like the product that it used to be 10 or 15 years ago, like, come on, bro, get out of that old mindset. Number 6. This was kind of funny. Like, you don't have to take it too serious. But one thing that used to make me so mad: Aaron Gordon was robbed in every dunk contest. Wait. No, listen. Dwayne Wade did him wrong. Okay, he did. But Zach LaVine won that dunk contest, bro. Like, you can make your argument for wanting Aaron Gordon to win. I'm not gonna push back on that, but to say he was robbed, bro, to say he was robbed, like Zach LaVine also didn't go crazy, bro. They were doing some phenomenal things in those in that dunk contest. Both of them through the legs, 360s, over mascots, crazy. But robbed, bro, like, yeah, it was 1A and 1B, bro. Number 7. Now this is for everybody that I've already triggered with my my younger takes. We done with the 90s. Oh, that just made somebody shrivel up like a raisin. We done with the 90s is definitively rage bait. That is, I think, Gen X is crazy. Gen Z's reverse Uno card to anything that is rage bait towards them. Because we done with the 90s is just objectively wrong, right? They were talented in the 90s. That was, some pretty good entertaining basketball back then. MJ was dominating. The Rockets run, of course. You had the Spurs at the very end and the Pistons at the beginning. But I feel like every year was entertaining basketball. Perhaps maybe not the 72 and 10 Bulls season. That was probably like wrapped up, put a bow on it. Like, that was probably definitive. Like, I don't know. I wasn't there. Somebody let me know if you were there when the 72 and 10 Bulls were dominating, if you thought maybe there was a chance they'd lose. But anyways, yeah, we done with the 90s is crazy. That is definitively rage bait, because you're literally trying your best to get at somebody who watched 90s ball to fall for the trap, because then you're going to spiral into making arguments on why the current NBA is better, which... And then I think it's just with bad taste. But then I'm gonna reverse Uno, like I just said. Number 8, Larry Bird is the greatest shooter of all time. All right. For this exercise, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to conduct a bit of research. So we just want to pull up here Larry Bird stats, okay? Because Larry Bird, granted, he was very talented. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Very talented. Larry Bird shot 49.6% from the field. It's not bad, he's basically a 50% shooter. He shot 37.6% from three-point land for his entire career. Also, this man was not taking a lot of threes in his career per game. At his peak, Larry Bird in the 1987 season shot 3 threes a game and made 1.2. He may have been the catalyst for revolutionizing the game of three-point shooting. He may have hit some very big three-point shots when it was important. But, buddy, I could name probably 45 to 50 three-point shooters that are better all time. I don't know if that was rage bait or not. Like, I don't know if I take myself serious. But, I mean, nothing really leans his way to favor him being the greatest shooter of all time. And at this point, making that argument is rage bait because you really don't have any definitive proof. Number 9. This one, okay. This one is, to me, rage bait, but I can also see an argument for it being true. I just had to talk about the double-edged sword of it. Derrick Rose should not have won MVP in the 2011 season. Like, okay, here's the thing. Discrediting MVPs is kind of wishy-washy to me because are we saying that he doesn't deserve it, that he didn't play up to the standards of an MVP? Because if that's the case, I think that's in bad taste. Because then we're doing it to just, you're basically saying you don't like player A. Okay? The other side of that is, well, look at the stats and accolades of player B over here. Because I think the argument for that season that LeBron should have won over Steph. Or over Derrick Rose. Then it's in better taste, but it's still like, okay, but bro worked his tail off to get this. Like, he dominated. He was on a really good team. He succeeded. He had the points. He had the stats. The efficiency was there. But I think people lean into this as rage bait way more than you all know. Because people would just throw this take out there for absolutely no reason. You could be talking about all-time players, GOATs, Derrick Rose, injuries, and then somebody just out of nowhere come around the corner. Well, you know, he shouldn't have won that MVP over LeBron. Well, you know, Derrick Rose didn't have really good stats that season. He should have won MVP. You're trolling, bro. You're trolling, bro. He deserves it. You can make an argument for somebody else winning over him, but let's not take that MVP away from dude. Come on now. Number 10. We've made it. We've made it. And this one is without a shadow of a doubt rage bait. If any of you say this and I catch you lacking in the streets, bro, we're not going fine dining, buddy. I cannot stress enough how much this is rage bait. For all of those saying LeBron James is not the GOAT. Let me tell you something, buddy. No, you listen. LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. And I'm not hearing an argument as to how he isn't. There ain't nobody on God's green earth that is a better basketball player than LeBron James. It's rage bait. It's rage bait. It's rage bait. I know you know. But yeah, so I just wanted to go over those real quick. Let me know if I missed something. You know, please leave in the comments what you think is NBA peak rage bait. I just want to know because I was only one to compile a list of 10 that I truly believe are rage bait. But I probably missed some. You know what I'm saying? Or which one of these do you believe? You know, like which one of these rage bait moments or topics do you actually believe in? Please let me know in the comments. This was fun. I hope to do some more stuff like this. I really love talking to the camera, as y'all can see. But that'll do it for me today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Oh, and also, don't let anybody discourage you from greatness. My name is Oh So Co, and we are Oh So Out.